Don't miss this now. Let's focus on the emotional message this video is truly trying to convey. Have you ever thought about how deep loneliness can really go in a world that is frozen? Where the wind cuts through bone and the endless white horizon feels like the end of the world? And not just for a person, but for anyone who is alive and trying to stay alive in a place where even breathing hurts. In a place where every step takes courage and every second takes away a little strength. What keeps someone alive, their body, or the last weak spark of hope deep inside their heart? Is the cold only in the air, or can it also be inside people? Imagine your hands shaking, your breath turning into mist in front of your eyes, and your vision fading while no one is there to hear you. Then, from the silence, a presence appears. It's strong enough to hurt you, but gentle enough to keep you safe. At that moment, would you be scared? Or thanks? When a creature that can't talk cries, is it just water or a reminder of the compassion that people sometimes forget? Life often throws its hardest tests at us when we least expect them, and help rarely comes from where we expect it to. Sometimes the person who saves us is a heart that doesn't talk, make promises, or use words. It just follows its instincts and feels for others. How many times have we walked by someone who was in pain without noticing, ignored the fear in their eyes, or not heard a quiet cry for help? Is the cold really only in the polar wilderness? Or is it also in crowded cities where people feel like they don't exist? The old woman seemed to have lost all hope. Her steps were heavy, her breath was fading, and she was getting weaker by the second. But somewhere, someone else was fighting for her without expecting anything in return. What is real strength? Is it the strength of muscles or the bravery of mercy? A storm, a person, a gorilla, a huge silence, and one question that won't go away: does selfless kindness still exist in this world? This story may remind us that the most heroic things people do are often quiet, unseen, and without praise or reward, but they save a life and give someone new hope. Would it really matter whose hand it was if you thought your last breath had come and a hand reached out to you? And would you put everything on the line for a stranger if you were in his shoes? Life may give us small choices every day, like opening a door, standing next to someone, or listening for a moment. These small things can change a person's life forever, because even in the coldest parts of the world, hearts still beat. And yet, underneath the visible struggle, there is another question that keeps coming up. How many miracles go unnoticed because they don't make a sound? We are taught to look for heroes in uniforms who speak loudly and stand out. But what about the silent guardian, who only shows up once and then disappears into the storm without leaving a name? Would we even know what real kindness is if it were right in front of us and didn't ask for credit? This story's frozen landscape is more than just a place of snow and ice. It becomes a mirror that shows the emotional winters that many people have inside them, times when hope seems lost, where it doesn't feel warm, where the heart tells you that maybe no one is coming, and yet something comes. Not because it was said to, not because it was anticipated, but compassion can sometimes act without asking for permission, without thinking, or without a good reason. Have you ever had that moment when everything seemed lost, and silence was louder than any noise? When you were feeling heavy with your own thoughts, a small, unexpected gesture changed the course of your whole day. Maybe that's what it really means to survive. Not just staying alive, but also finding one reason, one connection, one spark that reminds us we're not alone in the vastness. The woman's shaky breath, the creature's watchful eyes, and the storm raging in the background all say the same thing. Being weak doesn't mean you're weak. And being kind doesn't mean you're bad. In a world that often values power, speed, and control, saving another life might be the most rebellious thing you can do. And what about being scared? When you're scared, your legs freeze, your chest tightens, and your vision gets blurry. Is fear always a bad thing? Or can it also help us figure out what's really important? The woman was scared of what she didn't know, but that fear protected her from the storm. How often do we stay away from things that could help us because they don't seem familiar? The story doesn't just ask if kindness exists. It also asks if we're ready to see it when it shows up in a way we didn't expect. It says that not every savior speaks our language, not every protector looks like us, and not every act of love is a big deal. A quiet breath next to us in the cold is a promise that we're not alone in the dark. What is left when the storm is over? The wind stops blowing, and the world is quiet again. Not the noise, the fear, or the chaos, but the memory of being together. The knowledge that compassion can come from the most unlikely places, even in the worst situations, and when people feel far away from each other. Perhaps the real ending of this story isn't about survival at all, but about waking up to the idea that kindness isn't limited to one voice, one culture, or one species. It is in the delicate space between beings who choose to protect instead of destroy, even for a short time. And so the last question stays in your mind long after the snow stops falling. Will you become another gust of wind when the world around you gets cold and quiet? Falling, When the world around you gets cold and quiet, will you turn into another gust of wind? Or will you be the calm warmth that helps someone get back up? In the end, survival isn't just about getting through the storm. It's also about being the reason someone else thinks the storm can pass. This video is a completely fictional and emotional short film created by me. It does not intend to harm animals. All scenes are entirely artistic storytelling created through imagination. Sounds or visuals have been largely edited or digitally produced. This video is fictional and not real.